So in this video, welcome back. This is going to be a follow-up to a heavily requested video. I think it's the most watched video on the channel. It is about kyphosis. So kyphosis is kind of the hunchback position that we see a lot, especially when we get older, where you have this curvature of the spine and you start to round more and more and more in the previous video, and I would recommend you watch that. I'll link to it as well in the description and comments below and at the end of the video. I recommend you watch that video because we did a animation and to visualize it and kind of illustrate what happens when you allow your body to go into that position and what kind of negative consequences there can be for your back, for your neck, for your breathing, sometimes even for your vision and so on, and how it can cause headaches. So we're not going to go into that part too much because we covered it in the video. The questions that I got was, okay, now that we know what the situation is, what can we do to fix it? And that's what I'm going to cover in this video. We're going to cover this from a mechanical perspective. So a little bit of a small side note, there is sometimes a genetic component. So of course, the solutions and the strategies that I'm going to share in this video are purely from a muscular imbalance standpoint that you can then undo with corrective exercise. If there is some kind of a genetic component there, you might find that this is not as effective for you as it would be if you don't have those underlying conditions. Okay, so very quick summary. We have a situation where the spine is curved forward, and we talked about how that influences some of the muscles on the front of the body and similarly on the back of the body. We have certain muscles that are what we called in a locked short position. So they are contracted and they hold on to each other and they don't want to let go anymore. They're stiff, and tight, and uncomfortable. At the same time, through a concept called synergistic dominance, which we'll go over in a different video, reciprocal inhibition. Uh, on the back, the opposite side, we have the muscles in a locked long position, kind of strained. So think about short and contracted, long and strained. So the steps that we want to cover, and this applies to many of the things that we do at the studio that we're running here, is 3 steps. Step number 1 is find and release any of those tight bundles of shortened and contracted muscles and take them out. More about that a little bit later. Step 2, release. Step 1, release. Step 2, restore any range of motion, flexibility that was not there. So let's say you've got tight and restricted muscles in the front, the chest. We want to loosen them up, and we can do that loosening up with various interventions. You can do deep tissue work. You can do acupuncture. There's many different ways. From my point of view, mm, there is not a very big significant difference which strategy you choose, even though I find intramuscular therapy like dry needling the most targeted. If you find a good practitioner, I think that is a very quick and effective way to get into the areas that you want to target. However, none of those interventions trump consistency. So what I'm going to teach you is how to do it yourself. Okay, so releasing the tension in the areas. Number 2, we want to lengthen those muscles and potentially the flexibility or mobility in the joint that the muscles control so that you have optimal range of motion. Again, because if you've had that position for a long time, you might find that, hey, I cannot really move my muscles or my joints freely. So part 2 is restoring range of motion. Imagine having a knot in a rope, and take the knot out first, loosen the knot, and then lengthen the rope instead of just pulling on 2 sides of a rope, just making the knot tighter. Not exactly how it works in the human body, of course, but an easy analogy to understand where I'm going with this. Step number 3 is reactivate or condition or rebalance. Eventually, we're dealing with an imbalance, too much pressure or tension on the front, not enough on the back. So what we want to do is we want to reverse that situation by activating the muscles that have been a bit lazy on the back once the front has been relaxed. So 3 steps to go over: release, restore, reactivate. And the first thing to do is release. The only thing that you need for this is a tennis ball or lacrosse ball. I prefer a lacrosse ball because it's a little bit more dense. And then there's a series of techniques where you kind of have to go on a, we like to say, a trigger point safari. You're going to go in and kind of explore the area that are very often affected. Front of the chest, trapezius, upper back between the shoulder blades, rhomboid area, even the neck. There are techniques for that. I will link to those videos because I already have those videos. Step 1 is find and eliminate those areas that carry too much tension. So let me link that to the video, and then the exact prescription and the amount of time you need to do it. I will write that either down below here in the comments or link to a website, because it will be easy to just kind of have a chart handy. We also released a book on this, a self-massage handbook. Um, I'm going to give that away for free. So I will link to that book either down below or on the website. Um, Give me a little bit of time to do that, and then you can really dig into that, pun intended, and find and take those points out yourself. And that will really give you a lot of relief. Keep in mind, though, that is only 1/3 of the puzzle. Okay, so I hope that is helpful. If it is, give me a quick like and subscribe. Share this video with other people that you think might benefit from this kind of information. And I'll follow up with a video for the next part, which will be restore. So have a very good day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.